The former Inspector General of Police, Dr. Solomon Arase, CFR, our moderator and panel discussants, Professor Oke Ikechukwu, Senator Shehu Sani, and Professor Abiodun Adeniyi. Our guest speaker, the erudite legal practitioner, Professor Mike Ozekhome, SAN-CON, Pa Sam Amuka Penu, publisher of the Vanguard newspapers and titles. We give him that due recognition. Thank you very much. Very eminent and distinguished special guests, and there's a very long list. We'll take the recognitions later, please. I beg your pardon. Would like to also recognize the honorable mandate secretaries of the SCT who are present here and in good company with the honorable minister. Very respected editors of various media stables, and the individual recognitions will come later. Other distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor and privilege to witness this special, auspicious occasion. And it is, of course, 25 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria. But more significantly, it is the second edition of the lecture and awards ceremony for this very lofty media stable, this Nigeria. For a quarter of a century, our nation has navigated the twists and turns of democratic governance, weathering storms and seizing opportunities. As we mark this significant milestone, we reflect on the triumphs and the tribulations that have shaped our journey thus far. We honor the sacrifices of those who fought for our country and the dedication of those who have worked tirelessly to build a more perfect union, Nigeria. And as we look to the future, we acknowledge the challenges that still lie ahead, the prospects that inspire us, and the possibilities that await us. We gather today to explore the lessons of our past, the imperatives of our present, and the promise of our collective future. Let us engage in a thoughtful and forward-looking conversation that will illuminate the path ahead and inspire us to continue building a democracy that truly serves all. At this point, I'd like to quickly call on the man of the moment, the publisher of this great house, a man who likes to simply be called Mr. Eric Osage. He's a publisher, the founder of This Nigeria newspapers. Please, let's put our hands together more appropriately.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike, CON GSSRS Life Venture. Please, a round of applause for him again. We thank you very much for finding time to come despite your very busy schedule and attempt to revolutionize infrastructure in the FCT, not an attempt, the reality of doing so. Your Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, Your Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom, they had an emergency NEC meeting today, and they have spoken to me that they would be here. In the meantime, because there will be no vacuum, two personalities are representing them, Baba Dantier and Aneka Mana. but they have assured that they will join us. Other excellencies here, I don't want to bore you with long speech. And first, I want to apologize most profusely for your time. This is a very full house today. It's not every time you have this kind of audience, and we don't take it for granted. I'm seeing very important personalities here. I'm seeing Senator Sani, Senator Philip Aduda. A round of applause for them, please. Chief Dan Obi, my good friend General Noivita is here, former ADC to President Yaradua is here. And please permit me if I breach protocol. The General Salami Abubakar is the chairman for the occasion, and is represented because he spoke with me. You know, he's getting very young now. He would have been here himself, but he had to go for medicals at the last minute. General Jida is representing him, and I'm sure that he will do justice to what the chairman would have done. Uncle Sam Amuka Bemu, we don't pronounce his name in full. We simply just say Uncle Sam, and he's the only uncle in journalism. He's here. He's the publisher of the Vanguard. Please, he deserves a round of applause. When I saw him here, I was almost saying, I only sent him an invite. I did not go to see him as would have been customary. He was one of the first few persons to be here. Senator Mao Hambua. I'm also seeing Chief Victor Gadom. I'm seeing all our friends here. And of course, Right Honorable Chibudom Uche, former Deputy Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives, the Tiger. We welcome you. And we also have Alabo George Kelly, Senator George Sekibo. Everybody's here. And of course, Jim Obaze, Dr. Solomon Arase, former IGP. I'm seeing a lot of persons here. So, and the information minister is also on his way here. The MD of NAN is sitting in for him, Alhaji M. Ali. Everybody's here. If I don't mention your name, it's an error of the head, not of the heart. So please pardon me. It's been a long time preparing for this event. Okay, I thought there was sabotage. Professor Mike Ozekhome will be introduced. Akpakpa Vigi, the Enobaka of Benin Kingdom, is our guest speaker. So I was waiting for that for the last. So my duty here, and of course Jim Obaze, yes, I have spoken about him, he's here quietly, sitting in one corner. My duty here is very simple, to welcome all of you to this event. We are not going to take your time. A lot of time is lost already through no fault of yours. And I also know that the Honorable Minister is a very busy person. I feel humbled that he's here, personally, at the dot of time. Please, a round of applause again for him. Thank you. Now, what are we here for? This Nigeria Annual Lecture and Awards. We believe at this Nigeria that a newspaper is a nation talking to itself. We can never get tired of exploring the Nigerian politics, the Nigerian situation. We must keep engaging. This newspaper started in 2020, September 28, 2020. So it's about 4 years old. We started during COVID-19. And I decided that we should start at that time because when there is crisis, that is where there is opportunity. I hope you agree with me. And the simple logic was that the whole nation was sick. And that when we all get well, we all get well together. So that was the simple logic behind starting in 2020. And in 2021, we had our first in our series of dialogue. Bishop Hassan Kuka was the guest speaker, and his topic was National Cohesion for Growth and Progress, the Nigerian Dilemma. Governor Fayemi was also here. This is the second, and it's the 25 years of unbroken democracy, uninterrupted democracy, challenges, prospects, and possibilities. We do not believe that we should just come here and give awards, and our awards don't come plenty. It is earned. When I mean it is earned, that's why you have 5 awardees, not more than 5. And when you get the criteria, you will be more than convinced that they eminently deserve it. So this is the second in our series, and Professor Ozekhome and the others will do justice to that. Because we believe that if Nigeria would work, it is Nigerians that will make it work. If Nigeria won't work, it is Nigerians that won't make it work. So we will continue to provide platforms like this to engage. So that's why we are here. Then the awardees. Anybody who can see, anybody who can hear, anybody who can touch, anybody who can feel would understand why we are awarding the Minister of the FCT with Gold Prize in Infrastructure and Exceptional Leadership. I came to Abuja 2002 and I've witnessed successive ministers. Now, I can't drive anywhere without a Google map. And I'm not kidding about it. He has transformed the city. It doesn't matter whether you like him, you don't like him. You can see the job he is doing. And he's working very tirelessly. Please, he deserves another round of applause. And he is the winner of our Gold Prize, Infrastructural Development, and Exceptional Leadership. We also have the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Governor Eno. He's the only pastor in government today, if I'm wrong. Okay, 2 pastors. Okay, but we have chosen this one for this occasion. Now, peace building. We gave him the award for peace building and innovative leadership. Now, why peace building? He maintains respectfully decent relationship with all his predecessors. And that's what it should be. And we are giving him that. We are not discountenancing the other developmental efforts he's making in his state. But for peace building, for inclusive politics, he deserves an award. That's why we are awarding him. The governor of Kano State is getting the award Courage in Leadership. Now, you would understand that it takes courage to govern a state like Kano. And when his name came, I said, okay, we both come from 2 Asian cities. And from the Asian city of Benin is from the Asian city of Kano. So, but that was not the criteria, talking seriously. Courage in leadership is for him. And, we just thought that we should encourage, because leadership is courage to take a decision either way. And there are 2 other people who belong to, I don't know how to describe them. You have seen the probe of the CBN under President Tinubu, And we are all aware of earthworm and other things that have been coming out from those places. The gentleman responsible for that, who in the issue of Nigeria has been called special investigator to probe the CBN and other government business entities, is an awardee. He wins the prize in the public service category. Mr. Jim Obaze, he's here. Most of you will not even recognize him. He wears a tough look and he does the tough job. And he was also the executive secretary of the Financial Reporting Council that thought that religious business should be different from spiritual business. And then he got caught in the crossfire by asking the churches to pay taxes for taxable things. Jim, congratulations. Comrade Issa Aremu MNI, he was vice president of the Labour NSC and other executive positions in the continental body. Today, he's the Director General of the Michael Imodu Institute of Labour Studies. Okay, they are here. They are here. Now, why did we give Comrade Issa Aremu the award? He strives both worlds. As a labor activist, he sang with these people. Those people there. Now, as DG of Michael Imodu Institute, he's on government side directing policy. So he's been able to navigate both worlds. And we just thought that in this period, we should also encourage him in what he's doing, striking that delicate balance that is not everything we no go agree, we no go agree. I'm sure when he talks to you now, he's able to balance the two. So these are our awardees, and these persons, Professor Okeke MNI, Shehu Sani, Professor Mike Ozekhome, and Professor Abiodun Adeni of Bayes University will do justice to that. I'm sorry if I've taken your time, but I want the event to be a bit fast-tracked because we're on live television, 3 stations, TVC, AIT, and channels. And those things cost a lot of money. So, so let's, and then people have other things to do. I welcome you, and I thank General Salami for coming. He's here in spirit through the General. Thank you, God bless, and let's have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please let's give him another round of applause for that well-appointed welcome address. We'll very quickly go on to take the chairman's opening remarks. And General Abdulsalami Abubakar, GCFR, former head of state, and a consummate believer in the ideals of democracy. In fact, we consider him a critical link in the story of the 25 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria. Representing him here today, and like we said, he's here in spirit, is a man of no mean decorations too, an officer and a gentleman, having served his country meritoriously. Please let's put our hands together as we welcome General Adamu Jida, retired. That clap for the chairman is a bit too mean.
Okay. That's okay. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of the FCT, Barrister Wike, the life bencher, I just heard now, representative of executive governors here present, the guest speaker, Professor Mike Ozekhome, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I stand here before you to read the remarks of His Excellency, the former Head of State and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, GCFR. His remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with profound gratitude and immense pride that I stand before you today as chair of this Nigeria Gold Prize and Lecture 2024. This morning, we gather to honor exceptional achievements and groundbreaking contributions across various fields and to celebrate a significant milestone in our nation's history, that is, the attainment of 25 years of unbroken democracy. As we embark on this morning event, let us take a moment to reflect on the remarkable journey Nigeria has undertaken over the past quarter century. 25 years ago, in 1999, our nation embarked on a path of democratic governance, a path marked by aspirations, challenges, and unwavering commitment to the principles of freedom, justice, and equality. Democracy, as we all know, is not merely a system of government. It is a testament to the will of the people. It represents our collective voice, our shared values, and common aspiration. For Nigeria, the past 25 years has been a testament to the resilience and strength of our democratic institutions. Despite the myriad of challenges that have come our way, we have remained steadfast in our commitment to upholding democratic ideals. This morning, as we celebrate this milestone, we must acknowledge the numerous individuals and institutions that have played pivotal roles in sustaining our democracy. From the statesmen and women who have guided us with their vision, wisdom, and foresight, to the ordinary citizen whose unwavering faith in the democratic process has been the bedrock of our stability. Each one of us has contributed to this remarkable journey. We must also recognize the role of the media in this democratic journey. The press has been the watchdog of our democracy, holding leaders accountable, shedding light on issues that matter, and providing platform for diverse voice to be heard. This Nigeria, in particular, has been at the forefront of this endeavor, championing the cause of free and fair journalism, and today's event is a testament to its commitment to excellence and integrity. As we celebrate our achievement, it is equally important to acknowledge the challenges that lie ahead. Democracy is an evolving process, and the past 25 years has taught us that it requires constant nurturing and vigilance. Issues such as electoral integrity, human rights, economic development, and social justice remain critical areas that demand our collective attention and action. Our journey over the past 25 years has not been without its trials. We have faced political turbulence, economic fluctuations, and social upheavals. Yet, through it all, the Nigerian spirit has remained indomitable. We have shown that despite our differences, we are united in our commitment to building a nation that is inclusive, prosperous, and democratic. Today, as we honor the recipient of this Nigeria Gold Prize, we are reminded of the power of individuals and collective contribution to our society. These laureates, through their dedication and innovation and perseverance, embody the very essence of what makes Nigeria resilient and dynamic. They serve as beacons of hope, illuminating the path towards a brighter future. The This Nigeria Gold Prize is not merely an award. It is a symbol of excellence, a recognition of the extraordinary that has demonstrated a commitment to values that resonate with our democratic ethos, that is integrity, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of progress. As we reflect on our democratic journey, let us look to the future with optimism and determination. The next 25 years and more will certainly bring challenges and opportunities. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that the foundation we have built are strengthened and our democratic institutions are fortified, and that the values of freedom, justice, and equality continue to guide us. In closing, I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to all the award recipients. Your contributions are not only a source of inspiration, but also a testament to the potential that lies within our great nation. I would also like to thank Mr. Eric Osage, the founder of This Nigeria, for his unwavering commitment to promoting excellence and integrity in journalism and for organizing this prestigious event. Let us continue to work together as one nation to uphold the principles of democracy, to champion the cause of justice, and to build a future that is bright, inclusive, and prosperous for all Nigerians. Thank you. Enjoy this great event. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's our chairman for the event. Very quickly, we'd like to go into the lecture. And our guest lecturer is someone who needs no further introduction. Professor Mike Ozekhome, SANTON, and a man who speaks the truth, which aligns with the mandate of This Nigeria, to know the truth. Please let's warmly welcome our guest speaker, Professor Mike Ozekhome, to the podium. I suspect we want to welcome the panelists. Okay, let's take the moderator. Sorry, sir. The moderator, Professor Ikechukwu, please come up. Our discussant, Senator Sani. Senator Sani is around. But we have Professor Abiodun Adeniyi. Please. Thank you. All right, I'm sure Senator got shortly. Okay.
Your Excellency, and my good brother and friend, Barrister Nyesom Wike, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, CFR, and life venture. A man that when I wrote a chapter in a book that honored him after he left his position as governor of Rivers State, I said he's a man that says what he means and also means what he says. That was how I summarize him, because with him, you can know where you stand on an issue. I asked him, very close to me, I commissioned sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. I didn't know my phone was still on. When I visited him, because he loves cooking, and we were in the kitchen together to cook, I asked him one thing. Oh yes, he's a good chef, man. If you eat Wike's food, you will not, you have to be careful. I asked him, one pertinent question that was bugging me, and very genuinely. I said I've been in Abuja for at least 8-9 years. I didn't know there was a minister here of FCT. I didn't even know his name. How come you have just come in and things have turned around, just as you had made Rivers the biggest construction site in Nigeria? You suddenly now made FCT the biggest construction site. How do you do it? Where do you get the money from? Where is the money coming from? Where has this money been? Those were the questions I asked him. I think he said something to the following effect. He just said, my brother, he's God's economist. God's economist. We salute you for making my generation proud and for being a good landlord, as even the President Tinubu called you, and for being a Mr. Project. Let me greet my distinguished elder statesman here. Simply Mr. Sam Amuka Pemu. His newspaper name was Sad Sam. He doesn't look sad because that man you are seeing sitting down there is almost 90, definitely over 80. But when I came in, I greeted him casually. He didn't know and didn't recognize him until another person came to greet him. Sir, thank you, sir, for inspiring us, for inspiring a whole generation, for allowing us to read you when we were in primary and secondary school in the 60s and 70s. May Genesis chapter 6 verse 3 be yours. 120 years. I want to also thank the awardees here today. My brother, my good brother is here, Bello Adoke, the man they could not kill, the man they could not tar with the paintbrush of shame, the man who was unjustly, unjustifiably vilified for many years. And I'm very proud to have been your lawyer to bring out your innocence, and you were vindicated. God bless you. For others, do not be angry if I do not mention you, but not before I have mentioned General Abdulsalami Abubakar. No matter what you say about the present democracy, which is 25 years now, he and my elder brother and friend, Admiral Hawkeye Mike Akigbe, gave us this democracy we are having now in 1999. But we had to fight. Gani Farami, myself and others, we fought them with bare knuckles. So we got there running to the barracks. Thank you, sir, for giving us our democracy. So today I speak on 25 years of uninterrupted democracy in Nigeria, the prospects and possibilities. Certainly a quarter of a century, 25 years, is not a joke. Children born 25 years ago are already themselves parents. That is why people celebrate Silver Jubilee, because it is a significant moment in anybody's life or any nation's life. And the children born from 1999 who are 25 today did not witness military juntas, repressive military governments that we fought throughout in the trenches. For example, when I sued Babangida 37 years ago against removal of oil subsidy, which we are still fighting today. You see published in National Concord 30th December 1987. That is about 37 years ago. We are still in that battle today in the trenches. So these children born 25 years ago, may never know what we went through during successive military governments when we were being picked up and detained again and again. They wouldn't understand. But thank God we have democracy. But the democracy we are practicing, what manner, what genre of democracy is it? Have we lost something? Have we gained something? Is it the type of democracy once defined by Abraham Lincoln, one of the greatest American presidents, on the 19th of November 1863, as government of the people, for the people and by the people? Is that the democracy during this Gettysburg Declaration in Delaware? That was the man who led the Northern Union against the Southern Confederates. That was the man who signed the abolition pact to abolish the 500-year slavery. After people like Thomas Clarkson, Olaudah Equiano, William Wilberforce had fought and lost the battle. But of course, he was promptly assassinated. My take on this is that we have not quite gotten to the tenets of democracy. Sure, we are having civilian governments. But I'm not too sure it is democracy in that true sense of the word, that the people elect or select their leaders and the votes are counted and the votes are allowed to count. It is when votes are counted and the votes are allowed to count that you can say that the people have actually elected or selected their leaders. The people become the dog. Those elected become the tail. And you know the tail cannot wag the dog. That is why I have commenced a special series called Ozekhome in my own neologism, where I have coined certain words that I think we are practicing instead of genuine democracy. We have selectocracy, we have electionocracy. Electionocracy, the politician wins today, uses 1 year to do one or two things, is already looking forward to the next election. We have judocracy, where presidents, governors, senators, House of Rep members are incubated and delivered in the hallowed presence of courts instead of through the ballot. We have legislatocracy. It's a system whereby the legislature, instead of challenging the executive, saying, sir, what you are doing is wrong. We have oversight functions under sections 88 and 89 of the Constitution. Anything that president takes to them, like the Agama lizard, they say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. That's what we call legislatocracy. Of course, we have executocracy. We saw it in the last 8 years, where we have a near dictatorship, even under a democratic environment. These are things we must avoid if we want our democracy to really grow and mature. We all saw what has been happening in Kenya. William Ruto thought he could be a dictator within a democratic system. And the people said, no, we voted for you. That's one of the Trojans who were in the trenches together. He was lucky to escape after Yaradua died in Enugu prison. He was there with him. That is why he can afford to grow afro hair today. Senator Shehu Sani, my very good friend and brother. So, William Ruto decided to show some dictatorial tendencies. He imposed a finance bill which he wanted the parliament to quickly pass into law. And the parliament was working hard on it. The people took to the streets and said, no, you cannot. We don't want this finance bill. You are tasking everything, even up to the bread we are going to eat. We can't cope. The man thought they were joking. He said, to hell. And the people went on the streets, went to parliament, closed it down, burned some places. We saw the police in action, moving against them. They killed about 23. And instead of the president showing concern and sensitivity to the plight of the people, he came on air. He accused them of treason and treasonable felonies, and even referred to the unarmed demonstrators as criminals. Of course, that was the litmus test the people needed, and they went more violent. But thank him again. One of the qualities of good leadership is to know when you are wrong and to be able to correct yourself. You can't always believe that you are right. Like Louis XIV of France, who in 1416 will stand in front of parliament to say, "L'État c'est moi, I am the state." You can't be the state. So he knew that what was going on could consume the entire Kenya. And he came on air. He said, I feel you. I've heard you loud and clear. I will no longer sign that finance bill, and it will be withdrawn. Not only that, we are going to start by making sacrifices from the president down to members of the parliament and even the judiciary. Cut our pace, stop issues of buying brand new cars, and with that, I think the people now felt that, well, we beat his sense into the head of this man, so that it will not, because they were now beginning to see him as an imperial stooge of Western powers. So, in talking about democracy, therefore, I have done some diagnosis. There's a period you call the transition, such as we did in 1999, transiting from military dictatorship to civilian government. There's the second phase we call reconstitution of a new political order. And the third and final phase is that which consolidates the gains of democracy. So, the 2 decades after the reintroduction of civilian rule, more than 2 decades, Nigeria seems to be stuck in the final phase. That final and third phase where you consolidate the gains of democracy. And I have asked the question, we talk about democracy dividends. Dividends is a corporate word that comes from the corporate world. It's a word that comes from the corporate world. Dividends. It means something you share from profit or from surplus. So I've asked the question, have we actually made profit in our democratic experimentation from which we now hope to share, to have dividends? I do not know. I do not know about that. So I know that somehow we lost it along the line when you look at the kind of the situation we were before and now. Where are the Ajaokuta steel mill, the Alaja steel mill, the Kano and Katsina rolling mills, the Oshogbo rolling mill? Where is the United Nigeria Textile Mill in Kaduna? Chelarams, where we used to wear our clothes. Oku Iboku, pulp and paper mill for our newspapers. The NGC factory in Ibadan for our cooking gas. The Nigerian Airways, that was the biggest airline in Africa. I flew it, my first trip abroad in 1983, December 31, the day General Buhari played his goal. And I paid 350 naira to Dallas Fort Worth Airport. I didn't need a visa because the naira then was about 40 naira, 40 kobo to 80 kobo to $1. We had refrigerators, freezers manufactured in Nigeria, Quali Pipe in Kano, Dunaplex located in Lagos. I think what has been worrying us mostly is what Professor Cloud Ake, now lay, God bless his soul, once described as a disarticulate economy. He described a disarticulate economy as an economy where we produce what we don't consume and consume what we don't produce. We produce crude oil. We can't consume it. So we sell it abroad. Then they refine it there. We now import it. So we now consume what we can't produce. An economy like that is disarticulate. Pujo cars that were assembled in Kakuri, Kaduna, Volkswagen in Lagos, Leyland in Ibadan, Anamco in Anambra, Steyr in Bauchi, agricultural tractors, Vono products in Lagos, Exide company that produce the batteries, Iso Glass in Ibadan, and TSG that produce the windscreens, Ferrodo in Ibadan that produce pre-pass, Dunlop 1961 in Lagos, Michelin since the 50s in Port Harcourt, Sanyo products we were doing with WC in Abeokuta and Kano, Nigeria Wire and Cable. So, and if you now look at what we went through that time and what we are now going through again, the critical situation today, we are told is that the country will be losing about 94 trillion naira because of the exit of some major companies in Nigeria, which gives me concern as a person who believes in this country. Standard Biscuits Nigeria, NASCO, Fiber, Union Trading, they have all gone, Toa Aluminium, Pharma Industries, Mufex Nigeria, Universal Rubber Company, Mother's Pride Ventures, Eran Products Nigeria Limited, Gorgeous Metal Bakers, Unilever, Proto and Gamble, Microsoft, Kimberly Clark, a lot of them, they have all gone or they are going, including oil companies, ExxonMobil, Shell, ENI. So, but we cannot say that we cannot arrest this situation because most of them are going, according to them, because of insecurity, inclement environment to operate from. I believe that we can do something. We can do something like the Asian tigers. The Asian tigers that were even poorer than us in the 50s and 60s. The Asian tigers that started massive exportation. Because without exportation, you can't earn. Without any, your naira can't do anything for you. They invested in education and serious export of products that within 3 decades, at a growth of 7.5% per annum, within the 3 decades, they landed into that realm called developed countries. So we need our leaders, our leadership to galvanize the people. If you galvanize the people and they believe in you, then things will work. We should leave out prebendalism, favoritism, cronyism, sectionalism, tribalism, all of which hinder a country and its growth. And then we will see Nigeria moving. Like I've said again and again, let me also still say it. I know a person like Shehu will disagree with me. We need a new constitution. We are not saying a new constitution is an end in itself. but it's the beginning of a beautiful journey where you have agreed on certain articles of faith, as America did between May and September in 1787, when they met in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to have a more perfect union. And they came out with a constitution subjected to 39 signatories out of the 50 that attended, and subjected to a referendum of the people. And that is why America's constitution, which is just 7,591 words and 47 amendments, have been able to stand the test of time. But if you have a militarily imposed constitution like the type we are using, which is actually a schedule attached to Decree number 24 of 1999, people ignore it. A constitution that has 67 items on the exclusive legislative list, including the Marriage Act. What is the federal government's business with marriage between a man and a woman? How you relate with your wife at home is a business of the federal government. Car licensing, vehicle licensing, things that should be left even to local government areas. So I think that not only do we need decentralization, but we need a brand new constitution which the people will buy in to enjoy their legitimacy and credibility. Because the process by which a constitution comes into being is even more important than the contents of the constitution, because it becomes autochthonous and indigenous to the people. I believe that we also need serious legal reforms in terms of our electoral system, electoral reforms. We should have an electoral court to punish for crime, so that people will know that crime does not pay. And we need the youth to come on board, and we need to encourage them, so that people will not be accusing them of doing yahoo. If you don't give them jobs, and the student spends 8 years in the university instead of 4 years because of ASU strike, because ASU is not paid, agreements are not being obeyed by government. What do you want the youth to do? Because an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Because if you look at it, you will see that the youth have always been in charge. All these people we talk about are Bat Macaulay, Zik of Africa, Amadou Bello, Obafemi Awolowo, Aminu Kano. How old were they when they were already leaders at the various constitutional conferences? Many of them were in their 20s, 30s. The oldest of them was early 40s. That time, people like J.T. Spiff was governor of their River State at the age of 28. People like Dr. Bemudia, Gowon, your head of state, was just 32 years old, and he was a bachelor. Dr. M.T. Umbu, between 25 and 28 years, he was already Minister of Foreign Affairs and also Nigeria's permanent representative at the United Nations. So it's not as if we have a youth that is genetically lazy, but that we have to use them, make them very useful. I also discussed the issue of ambiguous status of local government areas. Under Section 7, they are supposed to be autonomous, but we know that local governments are actually controlled by the governors, and that even the allocation given to them from the Constitution, many a time, the local government cannot give them. The governors will lay them and give them miserly something, not even enough to pay salary. So I talked here that some people have even considered issues about separation, peaceful separation, rather than violent separation. If your union is not working, then you can also sit down. That's why we need to talk. An unending conversation. Is it that we want to separate? Is that what is going to be good for us? Because if we want to stay together, we must nurture it. We must have mutual respect one for another. We cannot have peace of the graveyard and we'll be happy. That's what Abiola will call peace of the graveyard. He said, you see, they say we should have peace, we should have peace. The question is, what manner of peace? There is what you call peace of the graveyard, peace of the cemetery. The cemetery is the most peaceful place on earth.
But that is not the kind of peace we are looking for. We want peace that is imbued with egalitarianism, with mutual respect, with development. That's what the kind of peace we want. So, God bless you. So I will so round up. You are really tormenting me. Please. So some people have talked about you gave me 30 minutes. I have not been here for 30 minutes, please. Now, some people have talked about peaceful separation and all that happened in 1776, USA splitting from UK, 1830 Belgium from Netherlands, 65 Singapore from Malaysia, 2002 East Timor from Indonesia, 1921 Ireland split from United Kingdom, 1944 Iceland from Denmark, 1905 Norway from Denmark, 1905 Norway and Sweden also split, 47 British Indian Dominion partitioning to India and Pakistan, Bangladesh seceded from Pakistan in 1971, 92-93 two parts of Czechoslovakia, one going Czech and the other one Slovakia. 65 Singapore from Malaysia, Ethiopia and Eritrea, Sudan and Southern Sudan. USSR now broken into 15 sovereign states. Estonia, Belarus, Georgia, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldova, Russia, Ukraine and others. I must not be misunderstood. I know that self-determination is recognized by the United Nations, that people can go for self-determination. That is not what I would prefer. I would like Nigeria as a big, prosperous, united, Dolly Parton's coat of many colors, where we can develop together, because there is a space for each other. No tribe in Nigeria must be seen or recognized or referred to as a dot in the cycle. I am a minority from a minority within a minority, born in Iyukwe near Agenebode, East local government area of Edo State. I'm proud to be who I am and where I come from. Of the 374 ethnic groups in Nigeria, as found out by Professor Onigo Otite in his demographics survey, don't base Nigeria alone on the tripod of the Yorubas, the Hausa Fulanis, and the Igbos. A tripod is never balanced. What do you do with the other 371 ethnic groups? That is why Nigeria is not balanced. You can't expect some people to be clappers, to be hewers of wood and drawers of water, while others are busy luxuriating away. That is social injustice, and it normally incubates unrest, chaos, and anarchy. The type we were seeing in Kenya, where they believed that the ruling class was oppressive against the common man. So in ending my something, I will say that we should do away with political corruption, which we all know very well, where people in government take a larger chunk and the people they govern are suffering. Nigeria is suffering. Let nobody deceive Mr. President, sir. My president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Nigerians are suffering. There is mass poverty. There is degradation. There is anger in the land, sir. Don't let your minders tell you something otherwise. I will advise Mr. President, sir, go incognito one night. Just wear something, disguise yourself. Go out and see the anger in the land, the hunger in the land, the squalor in the land. That from 192 naira per liter, a liter is now between 550 to 800 naira. Small scale industries, which usually is the hub of a country, is virtually dead. Who can buy fuel to power a small face me I face you generator? to do barbing. So he must look at this. He must begin to block all loopholes and cut the large size of government. The government is too large and is too wasteful. We must also begin to do away with all these long convoys. Our convoys are too long. I have a friend who came from abroad. When he saw a convoy going, he now asked me, what is going on? I told him that was a governor going. He said, governor? I said, yes. He said, is the governor president? I said, no. He's one of 36 governors. He said, and he's going like that? Because we counted on the convoy about 14 vehicles. Of course, all of them shaded. So he said, but why? In my country, the president comes out riding a bicycle. I said, bicycle? Ah, okay. You want our own to ride a wheelbarrow? Okay, fine. I know there are peculiarities in terms of sensitivity, in terms of security. That's all. I'm not saying Mr. President should necessarily come out riding a bicycle. That's not what but there's a way you empathize and sympathize with the people when they are hungry. You show that you know they are hungry. We shouldn't go about buying more aircraft, more vehicles. I mean, in a country that is already bleeding, already asphyxiating economically. So I say we should cut all those on, and the role of women, as I go here from here, must be emphasized. The 62 women in 2019 in government has now thinned down to just 21 women, 8 in the Senate and 13 in the House of Representatives, which represent 4.48% of 360 House of Rep members and 109 senators. That is not good enough at all. Neither does it meet Goal 5 of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, nor does it meet the 35%, which we have agreed on as a country to be elective positions. So we need also to mobilize the youth so that their energy is well utilized instead of allowing them to go for NSAS. And guess what? I will soon round up. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And guess what? Nigeria has the largest population of youth in the world. Can you get that? Nigeria has the largest population of youths in the world. Do you know what? 70% of Nigerian youths are under 30. 70% of the Nigerian population are youth under 30. And 42% are youth that are under 15. So Nigeria is one of the most youthful countries in the world, which is a big plus that we should utilize. I think we can clap for Nigeria. So, Mr. President, sir, let me give you one advice as I see that. We were in the trenches together. You operated with Nadeko. You saw the suffering that we went through. Some of us here, we were under civil society. Aremu, my good brother and friend there, he and Adanso Shomole were with Labour. So all of us were synchronizing together to fight off the military. So, Mr. President, having witnessed it firsthand, what we went through and why we fought, you have an opportunity to write your name in gold. As great leaders did, it is in times of crisis that you know great leaders. While we call for support for you, we must say that you have to definitely lead by example, by empathizing with the people you lead, so that you can come out as a true leader. People like Mohandas Gandhi, people like Winston Churchill, people like George Washington, people like Nelson Mandela, people like Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, Martin Luther King Jr., Cleopatra, Abraham Lincoln. You can do it. It's not impossible. So that when you are leaving the stage, Nigerians will say, yes, he was here, he came, he saw, and he conquered. Winnie, Widi, Wisi. God bless Nigeria. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Prof. And thank you for that warm applause. We're sorry, we're moving up now quickly into the discussions. I'll hand over the microphone to Professor Ikechukwu to please anchor this aspect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me assume that all established protocols are adopted. Just a comment before we get into the business, which we will endeavor to be brief. I've spoken with the discussants. You know, the beauty of public conversation is that if you're the person who wrote a 2,000-page thesis, you can tell us everything in it in 2 minutes. True or false? So I've confirmed from them that their delivery will come in 5 minutes each. True or false? The only other observation is that there's somebody whose name is missing on the award list. That person was supposed to receive an award for exemplary personal dignity and professional integrity in the practice of journalism. The person is Eric Ozekhome. Clap for him. Very exemplary, grew through the ranks, has remained professional. There's nobody who has interacted with him that will tell you, I don't respect Eric. My regards. Well, we've heard from the Sun. If we had left him, we'll have spent the night. We'll go on break, come back. You know him. Please clap for him again. Selectocracy, electocracy, judocracy, legislatorocracy, executocracy. These are terms he had used in an attempt to locate some of the crises of our democracy in terms of which aspect of the elite is dominating the outcomes of leadership selection. But for the discussion and for the discussant, a few things to look at. He said we've gone through 3 stages, transition, reconstruction, and that we are now at the level of consolidation. And my question is that correct? If it is, the discussants will tell us what we are consolidating, because there are 2 issues that seem to present challenges. If it's democracy we're talking about, you have the incidentals of democracy and you have the fundamentals. The fundamentals have to do with values. You vote because I campaign to vote. The result of the elections determine whether I will go to office or not. Those fundamentals, are they being respected? If they are not, then we cannot say we want to consolidate what is strong. Do we agree? Now you come to incidentals, which include development, physical infrastructure, and the rest of it, and you look around you. Between 1999 and 2000, the 16 years of PDP, the road from Abuja to Kaduna was bad. In sections, the road from Abuja to Lokoja, from Lokoja through Ajaokuta, bad. Otokpa, bad. Lagos Port Harcourt Expressway, Onitsha Enugu Expressway, Lagos, Okene, all. And most of them were bad until recently. The only problem we have now is one man called Wike. And I hold him responsible for making me get lost when I was going to, what do you call it? You know the turn-off into Yakubu Gowon roadway? Yes, Asokoro. You know it's all bumpy and nasty looking. So it was in the night, so I just drove a lovely road with a flyover. It was after I passed AYA and was heading towards Nyanya. I discovered what has happened to me. Please let us clap for him. He was still governor, and he mandated, he told the local government chairman, if you don't locate those who are doing illegal refinery, I'll have you fired. Eric, you remember my article. The article was titled, Governors, Look at Wike. He's a fellow governor. We ignore that years of government and all of that. So, Your Excellency, you're setting a record of us. Now, the other point to note is what the speaker said about a disarticulated economy. Am I correct, sir? Yes. Yes. Yeah, disarticulated economy. The thing the discussants might want to add to that is also a disarticulated human capital environment. For 10 years, we were told that we had 10 million Nigerian children out of school. No problem about that. But the figures, going by 2005 census, the actual number of children out of school at the primary level was over 23 million. At the secondary school level, the number that should have been in school was 3.9 million. The number in school was 6.4. So you find that there's a crisis of statistics. So I would want them to add the question of disarticulated, incomprehensible profile of the nation's human capital and its negative impact on national development. Then in terms of his comments about companies that are leaving Nigeria, businesses know how to chase money. Motivational talk cannot make anybody sit here. If the environment of doing business is hostile, it will affect where anybody chooses to do his business. So I hope So I want you to also look at that. A lot of companies are going out, and we need proper balancing of our valuation. Namely, if you tell us you're bringing in X volume of investment into Nigeria, it would also help to balance that against the background of those that are exiting. If you say you're creating 20 million jobs, please find out if 19 million jobs are being lost, so that your actual delivery will be, we've created 1 million jobs. That part of the analysis I will expect to hear. Then the matter of decentralization, he mentioned it. But the question of a new constitution, I'm sure our discussants will want to look at it. 3 issues on the table. Can we really have a new constitution? Do people want a different constitution? Yes. Can they make it possible? That's the question. A lot of people are calling for regionalism. I have no problem with that. But you must ask yourself, how many serving governors will agree for you to have a region and one center of authority, etc.? The configuration of the elite interest today is such that we must look more for realism than idealism if we want political transformation, and that is something to take on, because the forces benefiting from what is present will not just go to sleep because you're excited that you're talking about the common good. Then the question of youths, unfortunately there wasn't enough time to develop that, but he mentioned that, and he said that our youth need to be more involved. I agree, but they also need knowledge. They also need to understand that they don't really understand this country enough. They also need to know that they are saying it's the older generation that damaged Nigeria. They're not paying attention to the fact that it was actually the youths that damaged Nigeria. Because if you look at all the confusion that brought us to where we are today, all principal actors were practically boys. But those who brought us independence were also practically boys. Difference. One group had greater exposure among other things than the other. That's the narrative to pursue. And the youth should also make a distinction between elite youth. We celebrate NSAS, I have no problem with that. But question, were those really Nigerian youths? The elite youths, well dressed. They didn't fight when food came for all the days. Part of the food sometimes even included pizza, one packet of which is 7,000, which is the equivalent of a pot of soup in Mushi. Elite youth. So Instagram, media, all of that is important for our youth. But they need greater penetration if they hope to own and manage Nigeria. And the older generation, you can't help them by condemning them. Advice, work with them, etc. So, to call up a gentleman who will do this thing, beginning with Professor Abiodun, he said the root is political corruption. And that's the root of all evil in Nigeria. So against the background of all the other points he has made, shoot for 5 minutes.
Hello. Yeah, Your Excellency, former Head of State, Honorable Minister, my former boss, Engineer Mika Eze, standing on existing protocol, very distinguished and esteemed ladies and gentlemen. Interesting topic, but first, the moderator has given us 5 minutes, and I discovered that he took more than 5 minutes, and I was wondering if he was going to deliver another lecture. Anyway, that's by the way. We're discussing an interesting topic, democracy, no doubt, but what I always like to do when discussing this issue is to create a difference between structure and agency, between tangible and intangible, between the soft and the hard. We have democracy as a structure already. It's a system that we have modeled after the American style, even though it is not complete. But of course, 25 years down the line, I always say that we need not be too hard on ourselves. And I'm going to explain very shortly. American democracy that will keep, the bastion of democracy that we'll keep talking about, is more than 2 centuries old, 1776 up to now, and they are still struggling. They still have challenges they are dealing with. Yes, it's a bastion of democracy, one of the most functional, one of the most referenced, but it is still not the best. The best democracies we have in the world are in the Nordic Scandinavia countries. So what that tells me is that democracy is often a work in progress. In our own case, 25 years down the line, unbroken, yes, we can be celebratory because it's been unbroken. The first time we're going to witness it. And of course, what is the problem with our democracy? The structure as it is may be putatively said to be okay, but what remains for us to do are the management of the intangibles. And what are the intangibles that are still problematic? The integrity of our elections, the credibility of our leadership recruitment process, the fact that our election process, the process of selecting leaders is still nested in controversies, in violence, voter snatching and all of that. Then of course, gender representation. We probably need increased gender representation, as the case could be, as is typical of civilized societies, where inclusion, is often emphasized. Because the natural character of democracy is one of integration, inclusion, representation of communities, sections as much as possible. And that's why we also say it's a system of government that is closest to godliness. Closest to godliness in the sense that it seems to give voice to the voiceless. And that's why we have representative to capture as many communities as possible in societies, and even much more so in multi-ethnic, plural society like our own. So what are the things that we need to continue to work on? The intangibles, like I said, the agency of our democracy, considering that the structure is already there. And of course, beyond that, of course, will be a neo-patrimonial, and of course, prebendal culture that the eminent lecturer spoke about, the rapacity, the barracuda-like disposition of a large section of our populace. And this is systemic. I often do not like to point out individuals to say, okay, individuals or groups of individuals are perpetrating this thing. We've talked about corruption from the 1960s, and this is the 2000s, we're still talking about it. Replace sets of leaders, you still find them having their hands in the cookie jar because there's a problem with the system. The institutions are still very weak. How do we strengthen them? These are the intangibles in the democracy that need to be grown, so that when the intangibles are grown through institutions, that democracy can become self-regulatory. But what do we do in the circumstance, ladies and gentlemen? It is not to give up. People have said, and I think the head of state in his speech also said, that is something that you tend to on an everyday basis. You nurture it as if you are nursing a lamb. We do not give up to say, oh, okay, this democracy is tiring, let us give up. No, it is work in progress. And the solution to more democracy is what? More democracy. And of course, we have also talked about dividend of democracy. The lecturer talked about it. Professor K also mentioned it. Dividend of democracy. Yes, it's an anecdotal reference to what is obtainable in the business sector. When you invest, you get profit. But ladies and gentlemen, we can also get, when we talk about dividend, we are talking about infrastructure, the one that is being led by somebody like the Minister of the FCT, Wike, and of course, these are things that are supposed to enable a society to function well. But it is not just in a democracy that we can have dividends, Even some autocratic, theocratic states, are the bastions of the exemplification of infrastructure, as the case could be. Oftentimes we refer to Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore. He wasn't a Democrat. And oftentimes we like the Middle East states where there's development, but they are not democracy in the sense of in which we will put it. They are theocratic states, but of course they are people-centric in their disposition, considering how they have plowed resources properly into infrastructure, into utilities for the improvement of the lives of their people. So the point we are making, yes, is that yes, democracy is fine. We have adopted it. It is salutary. But while we are trying to consolidate on the structures that will enable the continuous stability and sustainability of our democracy, we should not lose sight of the intangibles, which also include values, the kind of values and virtues and cardinal objectives that we subscribe to, as it came out very clearly in the presentation of the lecturer, and of course as highlighted in Professor Okey's moderation. So attitudes matter. And of course, constitution, yes, maybe the eminent jurist in his delivery is a lawyer, so probably, an eminent one, foremost one at that, he probably would not talk from a different trajectory, but perhaps I need to be educated on this. I also want to believe that, is it all about constitution? And it brings again the question of structure and agency. You can have a superb constitution, but what about the people that will operate the constitution? We have all the good laws in this country, but they are often implemented in the breach. If we can strengthen the criminal justice system such that the process of apprehension, prosecution, and sanctioning is productive and efficient and working fine, I'm sure some of our ills will be managed properly. Our attitude matters. I'm aware, from my little knowledge, that there are some countries that don't have the conventional constitution that we talk about. They are governed by conventions, but because of the attitude of the people, their level of patriotism, nationalism, things are functioning rather fine. I'm not taking it for granted that there has been years of disillusionment brought about by disappointment, leadership disappointment, but it's also to say that yes, where we're holding our leaders accountable, we also have responsibility as citizens, to continuously put their feet to fire. But in putting their feet to fire, we should remember, that it is not all the time that regulation help us to achieve our aims and objectives. Sometimes ethics, codes are supposed to be our guide in the manner in which we learn them through some items in the socialization process. And what are these items? Religion, right? Culture, the things that we learn from our parents. They should also be our guide beyond the black letter law that the learned Sikh talked about. I think those are pieces in the jigsaw as part of the intangibles, part of the agencies that we can properly fit into the structure so that we can get to a desired destination. Having said that, I think I will stop now so that you can probably clap for me.
Thank you very much. By powers not conferred on him, he has asked you to clap for him and you complied. So, yeah, he said the point. I think what's most outstanding, or one of the many outstanding points he has made, is that there is a democracy, there are issues of structure, there are challenges, but the valid observation, we can't give up. Am I correct? Distinguished. Sorry? Comrade. Okay, comrade.
Your Excellency, the former governor of Rivers State and the Honorable Minister of the FCT, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the honor of this invitation to give my own little contribution. But I will use this opportunity to tell a little story. In 1995, a team of soldiers, policemen, and DSS visited my house. It was a journey that began and lasted for 4 years. I was picked up from Kaduna and brought to Lagos together with the lecturer Shehu Saradwa. Airport, we were led to the DSS headquarters. There we met President Olusegun Obasanjo. Unfairly for the soldiers, they handcuffed me and did not handcuff Obasanjo or Shehu Saradwa. And Obasanjo looked at me and said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Shehu Sani." "Did you steal something? They are handcuffing." I said, "I'm an activist." I was then the deputy chairman of Campaign for Democracy. We were taken straight to Kirikiri Maximum Prison. We stayed there without anybody saying anything to us. When we arrived at Kirikiri Prison, we were given our blankets and a plate of food. Obasanjo asked, "What is this for?" They said, "It's what you're going to use to cover yourself from mosquito, and this is the plate for you to eat." We were then moved from that to and allocated ourselves. When the armed robbers there saw Obasanjo, they started shouting, insulting. And naturally, for those of us that are human rights activists, we were popular with inmates. And then I said, "Okay, you are a commander outside, this is where I also command. And now I have to talk to the inmates to calm down. No matter the grievances you have about Obasanjo, he is now an inmate." After we were kept in prison, we were then transported from the prison straight to a military tribunal. I was handcuffed again, and the two generals were not handcuffed. Luckily for me, I have a very slim hand. So we have a way of using soap and remove our handcuffs from our hands. So if the military are not seeing us, we remove our handcuff. When they are coming, I return it back. We move into a Black Maria to a military tribunal setup. We were interrogated. Many of those who were brought in there were physically stripped naked and tortured in our presence, with cables. After that, we were returned back to our prison cell. 1 week after, we were taken back again to the tribunal, and then they say, "You are Sani, okay, this is your lawyer and this is your prosecutor." All of them military people. My prosecutor spoke for 5 minutes. My lawyer asked for a lesser sentence without asking me what I have done. The trial of each one of us lasted for 15 minutes. I was sentenced to life imprisonment for treason. At that time, Dr. Beko Ransom Kuti was arrested and brought to the prison. He was also sentenced to life in prison. The late Eradua got death sentence. Obasanjo got life in prison. I got life in prison. And journalists who were together with us were also sentenced to life in prison. After that, we were returned back to our prison. Then they came to the prison and told us that we should be happy. Our prison has been reduced from life to 15 years each. I got 15 years, Obasanjo got 15 years, Eradua got life, and others. Then they said, those of us from the north should be sent to southern prison, and those of them from the south should be sent to northern prison. That is how I found myself in Port Harcourt prison, which I've never even been to Port Harcourt at that time. So straight to Port Harcourt prison. I was in Port Harcourt prison when Ken Saro was brought in and hanged. I can see them from the window. While I was in Port Harcourt prison, I wrote a letter to Nigerians. It was published. I was then removed from Port Harcourt prison, taken to Aba prison in Abia State. Kirikiri, Port Harcourt, Aba, Abia State. We stayed there until we had the news Abacha died and freedom came. After 4 years in prison. When we came out from prison, this is where my story is going to begin. Abubakar invited all of us who fought for democracy that I am going to hand over power to a democratic leader, and I want all of you, the freedom fighters, to come together and take over power. At that very time, Gani opposed it. 3 times he was inviting us. We even refused to answer his call. And he invited the politicians. He didn't even invite them. They were knocking at his door. After we decided to listen to him, we came and sat down. What do? We are just coming out of it. That is what the ANC in South Africa did. After the struggle, they took over political power. But after our struggle in 99, 98, 99, we made a fundamental mistake and said we are not going to cooperate with the military. Michael Ozekhome is sitting here, is one of those who oppose that we should not join. Gani opposed, Falana opposed, Olisa Obakoba, all opposed. It was Tinubu who said, if we don't get in, who is going to be there?
Sorry, distinguished, they are shutting down the camera, so.
Yes. Yeah. Then, by the time we all agreed to join the politics, politicians have taken over all positions. Michael Ozekhome tried to be governor of Edo State, he couldn't. Olisa tried to be president, he couldn't. Gani tried to be president, he couldn't. Falana tried to be governor of the state, he couldn't. I tried to be governor of Kaduna State. I couldn't because the space were all taken over.
Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
The rest of the story will be for another day.
Another day.
Happy democracy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Mike?
Mike?
Mr. Moderator, better guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm an awardee, but I'm a Nigerian.
That's correct.
The lecturer, my friend, Professor Ozekhome, had made some points. But to be wrong, sitting here without correcting some impression. First of all, we are talking about democracy 25 years. We know we have challenges. I expected the lecturer to say, yes, we have made some progress. And on his lecture, not one progress was made. Criticism, criticism, criticism. Are you telling me that for 25 years, we have not made one progress? Then we can say, yes, we have made this progress, but there's still room for us to move forward. Just like Sheikh Sani said, how they were locked up, how they were detained. I hate to say under this democracy, any Nigerian have found himself under that state. That's a progress. That's the progress. You say we should give the impression, see we have not made any progress. You have said here about infrastructure, FCT. You have said here FCT. Who is FCT minister working on that? Who?
The president.
Mr. President. Which means
He has the capacity to do those who can help him move the country forward. That is progress. Mr. President knows that there's a problem. And that's why he said he did hope agenda. Why did he say he did hope agenda? He knows that Nigerians have lost hope. Well, the day that he must work hard to bring back that hope to Nigeria. So it is not as if, Mr. President, don't sit down, let people not deceive you that Nigerians are suffering. Who does not know that Nigerians are suffering? That is no longer a story. And we should not be saying, well, we should distinguish between theory and real practice. You know, we like to come to the public and begin to, and that's what Nigerians like. You like to clap hand. Mr. President has been making a lot of efforts. And you know where we are coming from. We don't expect, within a short time, economy that was down, everything was, this country was broken, and then you expect, within a short time, everything will be corrected. That is not correct. Thank you for saying that we have turned Abuja around, which means if Abuja can be well, it means other things will be well. Yes. So I felt I should contribute this and to say my brother friend, and that the mere fact that you were active don't mean that you do well. No. That they did not allow you to be good. No. Activists have always failed. Activists have failed. We have seen activists that were given appointments, and yet they failed. When you were in Senate, how did we perform? What was our performance as senators? And you have said about rigging elections, and as an activist, how many times have you rejected brief? Those who have rigged the election, you have always defended them. So it is not about every time we come here, we postulate and postulate and postulate. Thank you, and God bless you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. If anybody was wondering whether yes, Wike was here, the person won't be in doubt now. But he's made two essential points. For us always to be balanced in our comments. That's actually the most important thing. He has talked about the achievements in FCT, yes. Centenary City came on to 2015. The controversy has dragged since 2015, a few weeks ago. People who came in, because I was in the office of the SGF at the time, came in with $18 billion to invest there. The politics made them go away with it. This man here, he called Centenary, called FCDA. It's like, look, stop this nonsense. We need this. His result today, Centenary Cities are alive. Clap for him. We could have gone on and on, but we can't. Definitely there are people in the audience who have a lot to say, but we've had enough. Let us give everybody a round of applause and call it a day.
Thank you very much, Prof. I think the discussants deserve a great round of applause. But I think you will still have to wait because we have questions. Just 3 quick questions. We'll take them. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let's quickly go on to the awards presentations now. We'd like to very quickly call on, please, I hope the technical is, could you start beaming the biodata? Would like to first call on Comrade Issa Aremu. Comrade Issa Aremu, MNI. And to make this presentation to him, we have the privilege of calling on Dr. Solomon Arase. Please, can we beam? Technical, please beam the biodata.
vibrant former student. Comrade Isa Aremu, a vibrant former student active. Comrade Isa Aremu, a vibrant former student activist of the progressive hue, is a firm believer in the possibility of Nigeria to rise to her full potential of truly being called African giant, despite our myriad of problems and challenges. As a Labour veteran, he has been involved in the struggle to position the Nigerian worker as deserving of his rewards in a fragmented society of social and economic disequilibrium. As Director General of the Michael Imodu Institute of Labour Studies, he struts the world of labour policy and labour agitation and has sought to walk the delicate balance. Comrade Isa Aremu, MMI, is the 5th Director General, Chief Executive Officer of the Michael Imodu National Institute for Labour Studies, Ilorin. He was appointed by former President Muhammadu Buhari on the 4th of May, 2021. Until then, he was the elected Vice President of Industrial Global Union, with over 50 million members from Africa, Europe, America, and the Caribbean and Asian Pacific. Immediate past General Secretary, National Union of Textile Garment and Tailoring Workers of Nigeria, NEC member, NLC, 2-term Vice President, Nigeria Labour Congress, 2007 to 2015. He was a 2-term Secretary General of the Alumni Association of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, 2013 to 2017. Comrade Isa Aremu is a member of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies. Comrade Isa Aremu, a veteran Labour leader and administrator, is the winner of this Nigerian Newspaper Public Service Award.
I present this Nigerian Gold Prize Public Service Award to Comrade Isa Aremu, MNI, for service to your country as a labor leader of repute and efficient discharge of duties as a public servant, dated 27 today, 2022. Congratulations.
Congratulations, sir. And thank you, sir.
Well, on behalf of the staff and management of the Premier Institute for Labour Studies in Africa, Michael Imodu National Institute for Labour Studies in Ilorin, I would like to formally appreciate this day management, or this Nigeria management, for this great honor you've given us. And we are dedicating this honor to #1 Premier Labour leader in Nigeria, the late Chief Michael Imodu, who lived between 1902 and 2005. Only Chief Sam Amo possibly talked so much about our great power. And through Michael Imodu, I want to commend all my comrades who are here, this dedication to your effort and the struggle for a better society. Viva Nigeria Labour Congress.
Thank you, sir. Viva
Minils. Viva Labour movement as a whole. And once again, I want to appreciate all of you. Long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Congratulations again. Thank you. Would like to go on to the next. We'll be presenting to the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umo Aino. Would like to call on his representative, sir, Honorable Mana, to please approach the podium. Making this presentation is distinguished Senator Mao Ohambua. Please do us the honor. Distinguished Senator, sir, please let's put our hands together. It's appropriate. Thank you. Please, can we beam the
Pastor Umo Basieno, Governor of Akwa Ibom State, came with the appropriate leadership costume, thread with lines of good governance. The clergyman governor has stunned the people with a masterclass performance centered on the AIRSE agenda, a well-thought-out blueprint that has set a new narrative for a holistic development of the state. Like never before, Governor Enoch breathed life, peace and innovation into governance across political divides and placed the people on the same page, giving all a sense of belonging in Project Akwa Ibom while delivering superlative achievements and attracting applause across the nation. In just 1 year in office, the governor has created compelling scenes on aggressive rural development, dotting every of the 31 local government areas and the 368 wards with projects and human empowerment, massive ecological remediation, and tourism projects. 20 state-of-the-art model schools, 15 fully equipped model healthcare centers, 599 kilometers of roads and other infrastructure, massive agricultural development, compassion for the vulnerable with a free food program, and a RISE compassionate homes for the poor. Governor Enoch is a perfect blend of a good heart and giving hand. He has deployed innovation across all sectors, and the people are already enjoying the fruits of this golden gift, aptly christened Governor of the People. A governor who took power from the proverbial corridor of the streets because he believes that power belongs to the people. The Enugu-born leadership maestro hails from Ikorekpeneudo, in Insitubium local government area of the state, and is perfectly complemented by his delectable wife, Her Excellency, Pastor Mrs. Patience Umo-Eno, the progenitor of Golden Initiative for All, in delivering dividends of good governance to the people, just as their union has raised beautiful family. Ladies and gentlemen, we present His Excellency, Pastor Umo Bassi Eno, winner of the Gold Prize for Peace Building and Innovative Leadership.
Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of FCT, distinguished awardees, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure on behalf of this Nigeria, know the truth, to this Gold Prize, Peace Building and Innovative Leadership Award to you. It's been presented to His Excellency, Pastor Umo Bassi Eno, Governor of Akwa Ibom State, initiatives which has fostered political inclusion, innovative leadership, and development across the state of Akwa Ibom. Dated this day, June 27, 2024. Congratulations.
Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Please, a bigger round of applause.
I'd like to present to you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of the FCT and former Governor of Rivers State, Barrister Wike, CON, other awardees, publisher of This Nigeria, and all other dignitaries, particularly the chairman of the occasion, General Abdulsamir Abubakar. I want to, on behalf of His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umo Bassi Eno, first extend his apologies for not being here in person. Like Eric did say earlier, you know what today is like for most governors. They have the National Economic Council meeting, and then we also have a major activity in the state today, the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road project. There's some initiative coming up that way, so he's unable to be here. So we thank you so much for the presentation. His Excellency has asked me to come in here and receive this award on his behalf. Congratulate the publishers of the newspaper for considering him worthy of this honor today. He has asked me to tell Nigerians and everyone here that he will continue to pursue his ARISE agenda mantra, which is an acronym for agricultural development, rural development, infrastructural expansion, security and education. And he has gone through that very methodically in the last 1 year. But more importantly, is the issue of political inclusion and compassionate initiatives of the state. And that has gone on very since he became governor. I want to thank the publishers, thank everyone, and assure Nigerians that His Excellency will continue to do what he was elected to do in Nigeria.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearty congratulations again, sir. Thank you. We'd like to quickly call on the publisher, the chairman, general, sir, the mandate secretaries from the FCT to please come up as we present to His Excellency Nyesom Ezenwa Wike. Please, let's quickly do this. The mandate secretaries of the FCT, please come in the company of the chairman, the publisher, the chairman of this event, sir, General Jida.
I overrule her as the organizer. The mandate secretaries are not to come on stage because they are part of the team. So we'll have the chairman of the occasion, Dr. Solomon Arase, and Senator Duda to come on stage, and I will join them. Thank you very much. And you then take a photograph with him downstairs. Yes. Please come on stage. Thank you very much. Senator Duda, Dr. Arase.
Three adjectives define him: action, superaction, extraordinary action. However you describe him, Nyesom Ezenwa Wike is a work machine and a super performer driven by excellence, which he has continued to deploy for the common good. Love or hate him, no one can deny him his dues as a man who delivers on his assignments efficiently, effectively, competently, and swiftly. Today, Nyesom Ezenwa Wike is not just a star minister in the Tinubu administration. The president recently garlanded him with the epaulet, "Wike is working," while Vice President Kashim Shettima calls him force of nature, which means the unstoppable, irrepressible Nyesom Wike. When he was nominated as a minister by the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in August 2023, many Nigerians postulated on where he would be deployed, but none doubted his ability to deliver, given his track record of excellence. In Rivers State, his last tour of duty before his current engagement, his infrastructural transformation of the landscape stands tall for all to see. So when he was eventually deployed as Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, the views were almost unanimous. Mr. Project had come to breathe life into a city that had gone into coma, and he has not disappointed them. He has even shocked many at the pace of the project delivery. In under 8 months, he has renewed the hopes of the people that good things are possible under the Tinubu administration. Courtesy of the Wike effect in the FCT, roads are wearing new tars, functional street lights, clean city, opening up of new districts, completion of hitherto abandoned building projects, expressway and major boulevards, healthcare, education and rehabilitation of schools across the Federal Capital Territory, enhanced security, and much more. Also worthy of mention is the inauguration of the commercial operations of the Abuja Metro Rail Services, which gave this administration something to beat its chest. The FCT civil service reform has also made it possible for the FCT to have its own civil service commission, which in turn has actualized the dreams of civil servants in the territory to attain the peak of their career as permanent secretaries. All thanks to President Tinubu and the FCT administration under the pragmatic leadership of Nyesom Ezenwa Wike. Wike, a lawyer, political strategist, consummate politician, holder of several awards, both local and international, is winner, of this Nigerian newspaper Gold Prize for Infrastructure and Exceptional Leadership.
The chairman to present
on behalf of His Excellency, the former Head of State and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, GCFR, I humbly present this Nigeria Know the Truth Gold Prize for Infrastructure and Exceptional Leadership to His Excellency, Barrister Nyesom Zenwo Wike, CON, Mr. Project.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me, on behalf of the entire FCT administration, thank the publisher of this Nigeria who has made it possible for us to be here today for this award ceremony. We thank Almighty God for the opportunity, and we want to dedicate this award to His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for deeming it necessary that we be part of this renewed hope agenda for Nigeria. Without that, it would not have been possible for us to contribute our own quota. And we want to assure Nigerians to continue to have that hope that indeed Nigeria will be better under the present administration of His Excellency Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GCFR. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. We have 2 more to go. We'll crave your indulgence, after which we'll go outside for group photograph. The next awardee, who now? The few more minutes will be done. His representative,
the Honorable Commissioner, Information and Internal Affairs, Kano, Babadantie, MON, MNI.
He has a calm exterior and wears a disarming smile.
Okay.
But beneath these is a heart of steel.
We were going to also invite the national chairman to come along. Since making this presentation is Senator Sani Ono. Senator Sani Ono, please make your way up to the podium towards the honor.
In agriculture, education, rural urban renewal, among others. In the turbulent political space of Kano, the heat is undoubtedly on, but he keeps marching on. His next move ensconced in his political sagacity. Abba Kabir Yusuf is a Kano-based, accomplished technocrat and political leader who was born into the prestigious Sulubawa Fulani clan, the ruling class of the Kano Emirate. Raised in Gaya local government area, Yusuf began his early education under the guidance of his grandfather, Alhaji Yusuf Bashari, the district head of Gaya. He completed his primary and secondary education in Kano before pursuing a national diploma and higher national diploma in civil engineering and water resources engineering, with specialization in environmental engineering at Federal Polytechnic Nubi and Kaduna Polytechnic, respectively. Yusuf furthered his education at Bayero University, Kano, earning a postgraduate diploma in management and a master's degree in business administration. Throughout his career, Yusuf held various positions in the Kano State Water Resources Engineering and Construction Agency and Kano State Water Board. He served as chairman of the governing board of the National Institute for Educational Planning and Administration. His political career started when he also worked closely with the former governor, Rabiu Kwankwaso, serving as his personal assistant, special assistant, principal private secretary, and later as Commissioner of Works, Housing and Transport in Kano State. In 2018, Yusuf contested the gubernatorial election under the People's Democratic Party and won against incumbent Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, but the election was declared inconclusive. Undeterred, Governor Yusuf joined his political leader, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, to move to the New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, and secured victory in the 2023 elections. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's dedication to public service, combined with his educational background and experience, positions him as a dynamic and courageous leader committed to driving positive change and progress in Kano State. Governor Yusuf remains one of the outstanding governors in Nigeria and courageous leader who has never allowed himself to be distracted. He is winner of this Nigerian newspaper Courage in Leadership Award 2024.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Minister, Mr. Chairman, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure on behalf of this Nigeria to present this Gold Prize Courage in Leadership Award to His Excellency Abba Kabir Yusuf, Governor Kano State, for your courage and resilience in managing a complex and diverse state and commendable works as Governor of Kano State, dated this day, June 27, 2024. Congratulations.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, Your Excellency. Shall we quickly call on Abazi?
Your Excellency, Honorable Minister of FCT, Your Excellency, the representative of the President of the former head of state, the publisher, and our leader and elder, Uncle Sam Muka. It's on behalf of His Excellency, the Governor of Kano State. It's my pleasure to announce the acceptance of this award and to say that this will inspire him more into more service to the people of Kano State and more partnership with Nigerian media. Thank you very much.